Still sharp at 70? This one habit could add years to your life. You're 70, maybe 75, heck, even flirting with 80, and you're still sharp as a tack, dropping one-liners that leave your buddies doubled over, remembering where you parked your car in that nightmare of a Walmart lot, and maybe even outsmarting your grandkids in a full-on debate about whether Batman's gadgets could outmatch Spider-Man's web-slinging skills. If that's you right now, or if you're sitting there thinking, man, I'd give my left shoe to be that person someday, then you've landed in the perfect spot. We're about to unpack one ridiculously simple habit that could add years, yes, years, to you. That's the vibe we're chasing today. Keeping your brain sharp, alert, ready to roll at a moment's notice. Because this habit I'm about to drop isn't about flexing biceps or logging miles on a treadmill, though big props if you're still crushing it there. It's about your mind, your mental horsepower, and how one tiny daily tweak can keep it purring like a classic car that's never seen a rust spot. All right, enough suspense. Here's the big drop. The habit that could add years to your life is challenging your brain every single day. Yep, that's it. Giving your noggin a workout, a little push, a chance to flex its muscles and show off. We're talking about tackling a crossword puzzle like it's a personal grudge match, learning how to whip up that spicy gumbo your friend won't shut up about, or even going full debate mode with your neighbor over whether pineapple belongs on pizza. Team yes here, and I'll die on that hill. It's not about being a brainiac with a shelf full of Nobel Prizes. It's about keeping those mental gears spinning, nudging yourself to think, to wrestle with a challenge, to stay in the game. And here's the real juice. Science is all over this like ants on a picnic. Studies show that folks who regularly poke their brains with a challenge after 70 don't just hang on to their memory longer. They slash their odds of cognitive decline and, brace yourself, live longer, richer lives. It's like a free all-access pass to the longevity club, no velvet rope or cover charge required. Let's break this down so it really lands. Your brain's like a muscle. Okay, not exactly, but roll with me here. If you don't use it, it gets lazy, rusty, out of tune. Ever notice how you blank on stuff when you're stuck in a rut? Same cereal, same TV lineup, same old grind? That's your brain waving a white flag like, dude, I'm checked out. Give me something to chew on. Now, flip that script. When you toss it a curveball, like figuring out how to program that new smart thermostat or memorizing the chorus to Sweet Home Alabama for the next karaoke night, it snaps to attention. Neurons start firing, connections tighten up, and you're literally building a sharper, tougher brain. The smarty pants types call this cognitive reserve. Think of it like a spare battery pack for your mind. It's there to keep the lights on when the years start stacking up. And the payoff? People with a solid cognitive reserve are less likely to tangle with dementia or Alzheimer's, and they tend to stick around longer, soaking up life with a clear head and a quick quip. Let me hit you with a story to make this real. Meet Linda. She's 72, lives in a cozy little house a stone's throw from her daughter, and she's got this spark that just pulls you in like a magnet. A couple years back, she started noticing the slip-ups. Misplacing her glasses, forgetting if she'd locked the front door, small potatoes, but it bugged her. She'd laugh it off, call it senior moments, but then she saw her older sister, 76, fading fast. Couldn't follow a conversation, kept asking the same questions over and over. It shook Linda to her bones. She didn't want that future staring her down. So she started small, real small. Snagged a Sudoku book from the checkout line, $3, best investment of her life. Day 1, total chaos. She stared at those grids like they were written in ancient hieroglyphs, penciling in wrong numbers left and right, ready to chuck the thing in the trash. But she didn't. One puzzle a day, that was her deal with herself. 6 months later, she's a Sudoku queen, teaching her grandkids chess moves like a pro, picking up Italian phrases from an app just for kicks, and she swears this on her mama's grave, remembering every birthday without a calendar. Linda's not just sharp, she's sharper than she was a decade ago, and she's got the energy to match. That's the power of this habit. It's not a magic wand, it's a slow burn that lights up everything. Now I see you out there. Some of you are probably thinking, that's great for Linda, but puzzles aren't my thing. And I hear you, loud and clear. This habit's not a one-size-fits-all deal. Hate Sudoku? No problem, toss it. Love tinkering? Learn how to fix that wobbly chair you've been meaning to tackle. Big into music? Dust off that old harmonica in the closet and blow a few notes, even if it sounds like a dying goose at first. Or maybe you're the type who lives for a good argument. Next time your buddy starts ranting about politics or sports, dive in, stir the pot, keep your brain on its toes. The magic's not in what you do, it's in that you do it. Every time you tackle something that makes your brain stretch, even just a little, you're sending a signal. We're still here, still kicking. And trust me, your brain's listening, taking notes, ready to roll. Let's geek out for a minute, because the science here is too good to skip. When you challenge your brain, it's not just a memory boost. It's a full-body fiesta. Blood flow ramps up, oxygen floods in, your heart gets a little pep in its step. Ever feel that buzz after cracking a tough problem or nailing a new skill? That's not a fluke. It's your system waking up, staying alive in ways that binge-watching reality TV can't touch. There's this study from Rush University, big brains out of Chicago, that tracked folks over 65 for years. The ones who kept their minds busy, reading, playing bridge, taking a random painting class at the rec center. They didn't just stay quick. They had lower odds of heart trouble, slept like logs, and lived longer than the ones who let their brains coast on autopilot. Your mind's like the puppet master pulling strings you didn't even know existed, keeping the whole show running smooth. Okay, let's get personal for a sec. Life after 70's a wild ride, right? Maybe your joints are grumbling louder than they used to, or you're not hauling the trash cans out like a linebacker anymore. That's real, and that's fine. But your brain? That's where you've got serious firepower. You don't need to bench press your body weight or run a half marathon to stack years on your life. You just need to keep your head in the ring. My Uncle Joe, he's 78, total character. Lives for trivia. Every night, he's on his phone, battling it out on some app, cursing like a sailor when he flubs a question about old westerns or 70s rock bands. Is he a genius? Nah, just stubborn as a mule with a side of sass. But last week, he's telling me about this trip he's planning, baseball game, road trip with his buddies, and he's rattling off details from 20 years ago like he's reading a script. He's sharp, he's alive, he's Joe, and he's not slowing down. That's what this habit brings to the table. So, how do you jump in? Dead simple. Look around you right now. What's something you've been dodging? That novel on your shelf you've been gonna read for years? Crack it open, even if it's just the first page. That recipe your sister keeps yapping about? Give it a whirl. Burn it, laugh, try again. Tech savvy? Snag a brain game app. Tons are free, no excuses. Or go old school. Grab a deck of cards, play some solitaire, see if you can beat your best time. Start tiny. 5 minutes, that's it. The secret sauce is showing up every day, letting it build. You'll fumble, guaranteed. Linda tanked her first Sudoku. Joe still bombs trivia now and then. Doesn't matter. It's not about perfection. It's about keeping at it, day after day. Let's tackle the doubters in the crowd. Maybe you're thinking, I'm too old to start this now, or my memory's already a lost cause. Nope, nix that nonsense. Your brain's got this superpower called neuroplasticity. Fancy word, simple idea. It can grow, shift, rewire itself, no matter how many birthdays you've racked up. Old school science thought your brain peaked at 30 and it was all downhill from there. Wrong. They were dead wrong. You can forge new pathways, polish the rusty ones, even into your 90s and beyond. There's this guy, Henry, started learning Spanish at 75 just to chat with his new neighbor. Took him months, stumbling over every word, but now he's ordering tacos and cervezas like he's lived in Mexico his whole life. If you can pull that off, you can handle a crossword or a quick debate with your cousin. It's never too late to flip the switch and get this habit rolling. Here's a pro tip to level up. Make it social if you can. Rope in a friend, your spouse, your grandkids. Turn it into a showdown. My mom, she's 71, does word searches with her bestie over coffee every Sunday. They bicker, they laugh, they accuse each other of sneaking peeks at the answers, and they're both sharper than ever. Social vibes supercharge this habit, keeps you connected, keeps you grinning, adds a little spice to the mix. Who doesn't want a bit of fun with their brain workout? Let's flip the coin for a sec. What happens if you don't do this? Not here to scare you straight, but the numbers don't mess around. Folks who let their brains idle, same routine, no challenges, they fade faster. Memory blurs, focus drifts, that fire dims. It's not a death sentence, just a heads up. You've got a fork in the road here. coast and roll the dice, or grab this habit and run the show? Me? I'm betting on the option that keeps me sharp enough to outwit my nephew at cards when I'm 95, still cracking jokes and telling stories. Still hanging with me? You're a rock star. If you're nodding along, thinking, I'm in, let's do this, you're already halfway there. This isn't about morphing into a rocket scientist overnight. It's about small wins. 5 minutes today, a bit more tomorrow. Before you know it, you're the one at the family table, dropping random facts, keeping everyone guessing how you're still so quick on the draw. And the real prize? You're not just adding years to your life, you're packing those years with life. Staying sharp, staying you, showing up for the people and moments that light your fire. Let me throw another story your way to keep this rolling. Meet Sam. He's 77, retired mechanic, lives out in the sticks with his dog Rusty. Sam's always been a hands-on guy, fixing engines, building stuff in his shed. But a few years back, he noticed he was slowing down. Not his hands, his head. He'd forget where he parked his truck, blank on what he needed at the hardware store. At first, he shrugged it off. Aging, right? But then his son dragged him to a trivia night at the local bar. Sam grumbled the whole way, figured he'd bomb it and call it a night. First question pops up, something about old car models. And Sam nails it. Then another and another. By the end, he's leading the team, barking answers like he's back in his shop barking orders. That night lit a fire. He started doing trivia apps, picking up woodworking projects, even teaching Rusty new tricks. Now, he's sharper than ever, planning a cross-country drive next summer, and he's got a gleam in his eye that says he's just getting started. That's this habit in action. Small spark, big blaze. Let's circle back to the how-to, because I want you locked and loaded. You don't need fancy gear or a big budget, just a little curiosity. Maybe it's that jigsaw puzzle your niece got you last Christmas. Dig it out. Start with the edges. Or that guitar you haven't touched since the 80s. Strum a chord, see what happens. Love history? Watch a documentary and quiz yourself on the dates. The key is picking something that hooks you, something that makes your brain go, oh, we're doing this? 5 minutes turns into 10, 10 into 20, and suddenly you're hooked. And if you mess up, laugh it off. Sam still flubs trivia. Linda's first pasta dish was a disaster. It's not about being flawless. It's about showing up, day in, day out. Here's another angle. Let's talk variety. Don't get stuck on one thing. Mix it up. Puzzles one day, a new recipe the next, a debate with your barber after that. Keeps it fresh, keeps your brain guessing. I knew this lady, Clara, 74, total spitfire. She'd do crosswords in the morning, bake something wild in the afternoon, then argue with her book club about the ending every Thursday. She's got stories for days, remembers every plot twist, and she's the life of every party. Variety's the spice here. Keeps your mind nimble, ready for anything. Still skeptical? Let's squash that I'm too far gone vibe one more time. Your brain's not a fixed thing. It's a living, breathing machine that loves a challenge. There's this study out of Harvard, yeah, the big leagues, that showed folks in their 70s and 80s picking up new skills, from knitting to coding, and their brains lit up like Christmas trees on scans. New connections, better focus, sharper recall, it's all there for the taking. Clara didn't start baking till 70. Sam was clueless about trivia till 77. You're not late to the party, you're just arriving, and the dance floor's wide open. Let's wrap this with a challenge. Pick one thing to try today. A puzzle, a new trick, a friendly throwdown. Heck, tell me in the comments if pineapple on pizza's a yes or no. I'm ready to rumble. Do it, then swing back here and spill the beans. Type sharp if you're in, or pineapple if you're picking a fight. I'm reading every single one. Dying to hear from you. If this video's lighting a spark, smash that like button, hit subscribe, ring the bell, don't miss what's next. Let's keep this rolling, because you're not just aging, you're killing it. Catch you in the comments.